This is Rob Tub of Boxing Social. Delighted to be joined by John Harding Jr. We're here in Loughborough ahead of Dillian Whyte's bout with Oscar Revis at the O2. How you doing, Pester?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Just participating in the grueling training camp. You know, the training camp that will make you into a champion. So I'm just here observing, taking in, learning, and just doing what I can do also to help and gaining everything that's going to help me in my career.
Now, this interview will go out before I make some of the other stuff that I shot live. How was that rowing session for you? People will hear from you now before they see the footage, so be careful what you say.
Whoa, that rowing session. All right, to flash back on that rowing session, it's like hell, man. It's just ripping into your lungs. You feel like you're dying and you got to keep going, and you're hearing them shouting, and then in your head you're just thinking of the fight. You're thinking of just, man, I want to be a champion. I want to be great. And you just don't want to give up. And you look to your left, you've got Dillion just killing the rower. Charlie is over there. Riakpor's in front of me, and though I'm the lightest, you know what I mean. I have to try and my best to kind of keep up. You know what I mean. So it's just like it's very tough for me, but tough is what's going to make me a dangerous fighter.
Quick battery change. One of the things about shooting at the end of the day means that you're always kind of running a little bit low. But anyway, let's push forward. I know you can't officially announce your fight yet, but I know that you're going to be back in the ring early August. Why don't you tell us what you can about that?
What more can I really say about that one? It's just that it's an opportunity that's come up, and I'm just taking it with both hands. And shortly we'll be announcing when things are finalised. And yeah, I'm ready to go and rock and roll. It's my time now, man.
Okay, we'll just leave it there because we know you can't speak about anything as yet. Something I said to Richard, I mean, I've known you guys. You're probably some of the oldest relationships I've actually got in boxing from when I started. We go back. We go back. Quite different now, though, to when we first encountered each other in Miguel's. Explain to me the difference between then and now.
Okay, the difference between then and now. Right now I've got, we're on a different level. There's people, we're gunning for belts, we're gunning towards world titles. We're gunning for greatness. That's one. The difference is, for me, I have people that actually fully care about me, care about my progression, check up on me. Making sure I'm even eating right or working out right. And I've got structure now. It's not just me jumping in and just sparring, with the big guys like I've always been doing. It's more like everything's structured. It's like today you see us training, there was no sparring. Tomorrow we'll make way for sparring. So it's all about, I've been given a structure now, and I feel the difference. And it's an official team. Everyone's really looking out for each other. Before it was more like everyone for themselves. In the eye of everything, it looked like a togetherness, but it was more or less everyone was looking out for themselves. For now, I feel important. I feel worth. They've given me my worth. They've seen something. They've seen something in me, and he's just been bringing it out of me slowly but surely. Seen the fire in me. You know what I mean? There are times I was just showing up to training, just by myself. And that's how we kind of got more acquainted. When I saw him at Girls, and he just took me under his wing, and we just remained close ever since then. And any opportunity like here, and he's training, I put myself there next to him, and he just gave the door open for me, man. So it's not like he's just turned his back. He's throwing a rope down and saying like, "Yeah, here, this is the way." So we got that direction going on.
Explain to people who maybe don't understand or don't know about that time, that period of probably a couple of years ago, 2.5 years ago, and around Miguel's. It was yourself, Richard Riakpor's, obviously Dillion in and out of the gym. I think it was around the sort of time he was starting to come down here. You had Isaac Chamberlain, Chris Congo, the now infamous Ted Bammy. Explain to me the dynamic and what broke that group up. It's interesting that you would say you were kind of all individuals masquerading as a team. It never quite felt like that, I have to say, when I went in there, but what do you mean by that?
To break that down, I just felt, I was kind of caring for myself. You know what I mean? There weren't really too much. The first thing was the first fight where I sold so many tickets that's when it was causing alarms. When the ticket sales coming down were coming down, it was like I was being advised to be like a journeyman kind of thing, innit? I remember when drew with Annie Fox, who now he's been doing people over. If you know what I mean. No disrespect to anyone he's been doing over, but he's been doing things. At that time, it was like I weren't really getting the comfort. No one was really uplifting me. I had to uplift myself, and it was like I was always there to support others. I just didn't really feel the same as me. I just felt like I'm just trying to get in the circle. Here, like Dillion, that's family, man. I see Dillion not just as a manager or as a friend. I see Dillion as a blood brother. You know what I mean? It's just so much different. Though we banter, cuss each other, there'll be a time out of the blue, he just really checks on me. What's happening? How you doing? How's you sparring? How's you doing this? And just giving me the right opportunities, not just trying to do it for the sake of you know what, he can box very good, or we could just make money out of him. If you know what I mean, it wasn't that type of attitude. Before it was more money orientated. What can you bring to the table? Well, if you're not selling tickets, well, we got to do it this way, or you know what I mean. And here, the structure and the care and the love is still there, man. You can see that, after we finished the rowing machine, we banter with each other, that kind of love. Probably go and eat and together, and it's just so different, man. Like I said before, it was more or less everyone for themselves deep down, and that's why we've gone our own ways. And now you can see there's other people that think like me, that care for others, and we're working together now. So
now, for people who are maybe not as familiar with your story as I am, and as I know certain people are, you've had, I think it's probably safe to say, a checkered background. To put it nicely. Could you have ever considered or ever imagined that you would one day be, Loughborough Institute of Sport, or Loughborough Sports Campus, or whatever you want to call it, is kind of the gold standard in the UK. Did you ever think that you would get to this point?
It was a dream. Sometimes I get, just like you did, you just sent me back in time. I just reminded of myself. Like, even sometimes I forget until when I see people in the public eye, people that I've either grown up with, and they, tell me you're doing so well. I've had friends that gone to visit people in prison, and some that obviously they're doing long sentences, and I was with them at the beginning, and they're really amazed and touched. People message me of things they're going through, drug abuse, and they say they want to be like me, changing things around. And I never thought that my life would touch people like that, man. I remember going back, even to be close with Dillion. I remember it's probably the first. I'm giving you an exclusive story right now. It was my last couple months. I was in Brixton prison, and I had to I had to work outside of the prison, like work for free, but my freeness is just that little half-hour walk to there and half-walk coming back. But I had to be in like a library kind of thing. And I remember I was queuing up for dinner, and someone opened a page and said, "Well, this guy, he's beaten AJ before. He's calling him out. He's nuts. Like I could always just exaggerate. Like, this guy's nuts. He's in the ring. People punch him, and he's like, let me get more. What? You know what I mean? So I see, and I said, what is that? So this guy called Dillian Whyte. Wow. Imagine. We have this discussion, yeah. I was walking back, but I was speed walking because I quickly went and go grab some McDonald's, and I've got to be in for a certain time, yeah. Who do I walk past? Dillion. We were looking, and I said, "Oh, damn! I've seen this guy in the newspaper, and he's got his rucksack on, he's got his old boots on, and he's just grinding." So it's like I saw a bit of him in the early stages, and we always remind each other, like, I walked past you that time, and we was looking at each other, not like wary, like, and then we just nodded slowly at each other. And to think, fast forward, I'm now alongside him, ring walking out with him. Man, it's emotional, man. When I think about it, it's emotional. No, I didn't expect it. I just had the belief. You know what I mean? So your belief is all in here. Like, the future of your life is all in your head. So I had the belief. When I came out of prison, You know, some people don't trust you. Some people hold on to past. You know, we're human beings. We're all gonna do wrongs. And it was just to dig down and keep believing, going through the whole phase with when I was boxing with girls, and you know, you're the boxer at the bottom, everyone else is shining. You're not KOing everyone, but inspiring you know, kicking the shit out of people. So it was hard to just get that transition, and to be here, that, you know, Dillion has saw something in me that he sees, that it's like, you know, he can recruit anyone that he wanted, but why me? You understand me? Why he had to give me? And there's something he saw in me that I'm going to show the world. So it's just a dream come true. And just those questions, when you say it just puts me so level grounded, and just reminds me of where I came from. But the main thing is, for me, I just want people to just, it's not, you know, just to see what I'm doing, and I'll be touched even if one person just said, you know what, I saw your life, I saw what you're doing, I want to go and do this. I had a dream of doing this, now I'm doing that. I just want people to know that it's never too late. And let no one tell you that you can't do something. Like, if you make a mistake, like today, you can make it right tomorrow. Like, we're human beings, we all make mistakes. Let no one judge you, man. It's what you say about you. And I had to always uplift myself each day and say, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna do this. You know, when I was in prison, the officer said, you know, you're a waste of, you know, waste of talent, blah blah blah. I had to just, you know, lift myself up, and I'm happy now that I'm here, and I can prove that to people that, you know, believing in yourself can get you far.
I think that's very well said. I look back on an interview that you did with IFL, and I remember looking at it and feeling somewhat like proud to have come into contact with you. I mean, I'd known you for a long time before even knowing that you were in prison, which, I mean, again, it was kind of taking somebody as they are at the time, and you'd clearly shown an intent to...
I used to feel like I'd be judged. I used to feel a bit nervous when I speak about it. You know, it's because when people haven't seen prison, the only thing we see is the American movie, so we judge it like, it's like this, is like that, if you know what I mean. So it was just like, I don't know, I just started just openly saying it. And then just the support I received from the April 20th show, from, you know, Eddie Hearn, Moon Chisora, you know, he come and spoke to me, and, you know, and said just keep talking it. And it's just, yeah, I'm amazed that it's just touched people. And yeah, so it's like, I just feel very, very humbled in the experience I'm getting back from people.
What is boxing for you? Is boxing your way of giving back to people? Is it your way of trying to inspire people to go and do other things? Is it, not to use the term really, but is it a selfish desire? Is it titles? Is it glory? What does boxing mean to you?
You know what boxing means to me? Boxing means love. And it sounds very crazy because I felt a bit lost in terms of where love was. Every time I jumped in the ring and sparred, from when I first met Ted Bammy, and the first day I just jumped in the ring, I sparred, I was noticed. Same thing when I was with Dillion, when, you know, they saw me sparring with Dill, it caught people's eyes. You know, it's the love that it brought into my life. It's the door opener it brought. Boxing is what you put in, you get out, so it's almost like life. You know what I mean? You're born on your own, you die on your own. So it's like boxing, you're in that ring on your own. Everything comes out in that ring. Everything you've rehearsed, you've practiced is for that ring. So boxing means life. It means determination, heart. What you put in, you will get out. So it's like, it represents life in everything. I'm talking about whatever you believe in, whether it's just you being, you know, an interviewer, a camera. You put as much in, you're going to get everything you want out. So I think, you know, boxing just represents what, if I can put in a term, whatever you put in, you'll get out. But for me, it's representing the love and the acceptance that it's brought upon my life.
Where do you think you'd be if you didn't discover boxing?
Wow. If I didn't, you know, discover boxing, definitely be smoking, probably. It's I couldn't judge exactly where I'd be, but I know, you know, there's all the bad habits I dropped for boxing. I definitely wouldn't have dropped. And, you know, boxing, I wish that he spoke about the amount of lives. I know sometimes they put in a light of boxing, you know, it's dangerous, but the amount of lives that it saved, even all of us look like Dillion, you know, Richard. What's boxing done for them? Where would they all be without boxing? Where would a lot of fighters be without boxing? Where would probably Mayweather, Roy Jones, all these people? So it's like boxing has just given us that hope and that light to others.
Okay, well, before we go, I suppose we better talk about July the 20th. Let's start from the top and work our way down. Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Revis. Tricky fight for Dillian. He keeps finding himself in these awkward banana skin type fights. He seems to relish the occasion. Talk to me about that fight.
Dillion's just obsessed with getting better. You know, training is so serious. You know, the fight with Revis, I think it just gives him that motivation to keep going, because he could have fought anyone. But he's like, no, give me that person. It's hard. Let me go and do it. Let me keep knocking on the door for the world title. So on that note, I just see Dillion more or less showcasing his skill. You know, watching closely, Dillion's got a wonderful IQ that I don't think is really, I don't know if people touching it as much, just like with the how he last fought Chisora, the tight guard. I didn't think it was more tidy, especially the first round when he clipped Chisora and he didn't even go for the kill, what people would have expected him to do. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to show his IQ in this fight.
I think I agree with that. I mean, for people who maybe don't know, Dillion is very, very well versed in his boxing knowledge. He can talk to you about any weight class, from the flyweights to the heavyweights, from almost any era, which I initially found a surprise, and then after kind of being around him a bit, it wasn't so much of a surprise. While we're kind of hovering around the subject of Dillion, we'll talk about Joshua Ruiz, because we ask everyone about it, so why not? What did you make of that fight?
You know, it's like one thing I'm trying to do is not take it away from Ruiz, because you know we have focused on, you know, okay, Joshua, there's something not right. What was wrong with Joshua? Was it the atmosphere? But I just can't take it away from Ruiz. You know, you done the unthinkable. You done the upset. You know, where people, it looked like Joshua was just like almost like a god in the ring, that no one could take him away. That's what it looked as if, you know. And he exposed the weakness, and he took his chance and took him out. So fair play to him. You know, I think it's kind of opened up boxing, because you know we're so much on this undefeated thing, and then now I think it's going to go back to, you know, the best fight the best. It doesn't matter if you've taken a L or nothing, and that's what this card's all about as well, really. So you know, in that sense, I think it sounds crazy, but in a good sense, you know what I mean? So, but it would be nice if Joshua can win and bring the belts back to Great Britain, because I think that UK, we run boxing at the moment.
Richard Riakporhe versus Crispin and Smith. Again, I think a fight, when it was announced, went under the radar because people then become more familiar with Richard Riakporhe in his last couple of fights in particular. But still, Crispin and Smith, unknown quantity. I think the closer the fight has come and the more people have looked into that fight, the more people have realised what a good fight it is. Talk to me about that fight.
I think it's a very good fight, man. You know, both like rangy fighters. Quite, not too similar, but quite similar, both boxers. But, you know, I'm going to have to lean towards Richard. Richard's got that raw power, that get a gel card power that he can just summon at any time. And I just think it's just when he summons it, when Richard summons it, it's lights out.
How important do you think the Sam Hyde fight will be looking back for Richard? I spoke to him about it, spoke to Dillion about it. He was nervous. He didn't perform as we've seen. Me and you have seen him numerous times in the gym. But then came from that fight and then produced a career best performance in his next fight against Tommy McCarthy. How important do you think that Sam Hyde fight was for Richard?
Oh, that was so important, man. You know, I was talking to Richard about it straight in the hotel. You know me, I was there backstage, you know, ring walk to him. I always ask these guys, and he was just telling me it was just so different. You know, like it's like sometimes things just go out the window when you're in there, under those lights. You know what I mean? So I think that experience just made him mature up. Like he looks like he's used to the big occasion now. You know what I mean? He's just, I don't know what I get from him now. He doesn't look, he looks relaxed. You know what I mean? Like he's just born for it. You know, and Rich is a person the same. We've come from local areas out of Peckham, grown up, and he's changed his life around. And so coming to something like this, another occasion where it's tough, it means nothing to him now. He's used to it.
And last but by certainly no means least, Charlie Duffield against Dan Aziz at light heavyweight. That's another excellent fight between two up-and-coming fighters who don't really need to be fighting each other, but they are for the Southern Area title. What do you make of that?
It's a tough fight. They're gonna both be coming forward. I'm very, how can I say? I'm very good friends with both. You know what I mean? Good friend with Dan. Duffield's my teammate, but we know that it's business. So at the same time, I think that's going to be a very exciting fight. I think even one of the most excitingest on the card. They're two fighters that just, all they know is forward. All they know is come forward. I've done rounds with both of them. So I know about them, and they both come forward. But I'm very excited for that fight to see. Dan, he's raising from the same borough, same area, kind of growing up. So have our back life of friendship before boxing. But right now, Charlie looks positive as well. He looks very focused. The same Dan must be focused as well. So I think they both going in it with their belief, and I think that is the fight of the night.
I think I'd probably agree with you there, actually. Okay, well, John Harding Jr., been a real pleasure. We've been meaning to do this for a long time. I said to Richard that whenever
Someone's been ducking me. You know what I mean? Yeah?
But it's, often when I see you and Richard, it's either at one of Dillion's fights or another show where I'm rushing around trying to get the fighters who are fighting, and you're rushing around with Dillion to try. Well, Dillion wants to get out of there more often than not. So our paths haven't always crossed, but it's been a real pleasure. As I say, we do go back to when I was a lot slimmer than I am now. You're the person who constantly reminds me about that. For all of Eddie Hearn's stick he gives me, you're the original fat shamer.
You're coming to do the roll with us, yeah? You saw the roller, he's joining in, yeah? Remember, put it on him right in the comments below. Get him in there.
Bester, real pleasure, mate. Look forward to your announcement for your fight in August. And if I don't see you before, I'll see you July the 20th.
Thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure, man.
That's great.